Having played the main trilogy, including God of War Ascension, I thought I had an accurate image of who Kratos was. However, the developers of Santa Monica completely changed that with God of War, a sequel and reboot of the franchise that changed my entire perspective of Kratos while remaining loyal to the original persona as well. It's extraordinary to see God of War push the franchise to new heights by successfully combining story, gameplay, and sound design into this memorable adventure. God of War is an amazing masterpiece that you soon won't forget. God of War takes place after the events of the third game. Kratos has left Greece and set up a new life in Midgard, home of Norsemen. Kratos' wife has passed, leaving him to raise their young son Atreus. She only asks for one request from the two, to scatter her ashes on the highest peak in the land. The story's premise sounds simple but becomes more complicated as the adventure continues. The primary goal is never pushed in the background as Kratos constantly reminds his son their purpose for traveling throughout the world of Midgard. Instead, it's the dialogue and strong presentation that keeps the story from ever getting stale. Kratos is constantly trying to keep his past identity a secret, while at the same time trying not to repeat the same mistakes from his previous life, all while trying to become a better father in person.
I found some.
Seeing Kratos in a nurturing way can feel out of place from veteran fans of the series, but Santa Monica successfully maintains Kratos' identity while adding more layers to him. In the past, the Spartan warrior was one-dimensional, a one-dimensional killing machine with very little regard for anyone other than himself and those who can serve his goal. Thanks to strong writing, fitting voice actors, and a flawless animation system, you can see Kratos and Atreus grow on this journey. Kratos has an unbelievable weight of self-pity and regrets that only Atreus' innocence can help him overcome. However, the boy isn't without his own issues that only Kratos can help him learn and understand. Atreus was raised in isolation and doesn't have the same understanding of the world Kratos does. You can see the wonder in his voice as he finally sees the world come to life from his mother's stories. However, this innocent joy is often destroyed as Kratos attempts to teach Atreus that while there is beauty in this world, horrors lurk in the shadows and sometimes the light. The combat system has been completely refined from the previous hack-and-slash gameplay. Instead of fixed camera, God of War features an over-the-shoulder view while swinging his primary new weapon, the Leviathan axe. Like Thor's hammer, Kratos can throw this beast of a weapon and call it back at any time. Kratos can also use a shield for parrying and blocking incoming attacks. Since you no longer have a fixed perspective of the entire battlefield, your view is limited. Indicators provide an awareness by alerting you where enemies are coming from and if they're going to use melee or ranged attacks based on the color of the arrow. And Kratos can perform a 180 turn for quick dodging. However, the lock-on system is extremely poor. When manually locking onto an enemy, the icon will often disappear if the enemy gets too far or dashes behind you. Kratos cannot attack or defend from behind and must turn around, leaving you exposed from the other direction. The automatic lock-on system can also get confused when there are more than 6 enemies on screen, making it harder to remain focused on one enemy. Kratos himself does come with enough tools and abilities to deal with the healthy diversity of enemies. While players can try and spam the same moves, certain foes require specific attacks to defeat. With elemental defenses, shields, flight, and more, players will find themselves switching tactics constantly to accommodate the change in battlefield. Bosses truly test your skills with powerful creatures and intense fights, each distinct and memorable. Each enemy has not only been intricately designed, but their movements have also been tailored for responses. Specific attacks are triggered when each enemy moves in a certain way, allowing the player to better react. Either parrying or dodging or using a specific attack while watching the enemy's movement becomes essential during the harder boss battles. Developers have included a color-coded response system to give players a helping hand of what can be countered and what cannot. This doesn't mean Atreus will stand in the background and do nothing. As a skilled archer, Atreus serves as an extension of Kratos and is the best companion I've seen in recent memory. Unlike Ellie from The Last of Us or Elizabeth from Bioshock Infinite, Atreus plays a vital role in combat, crowd controlling enemies, providing backup, and serving as an extension to Kratos' already powerful arsenal of weapons and moves. While the two were separated, I felt like I was at a disadvantage because I didn't have Atreus support, a rare feature especially in games like this. God of War's leveling system has been refined for more customization. Different types of armor, weapon upgrades, and enhancements provide the player with more options of how they wish to upgrade both Kratos and Atreus. It can become overwhelming as the game doesn't do a good job of explaining the system. It does become less of an issue as you progress through the game and eventually lock everything, but it's a shame that there's no New Game Plus with such an intricate upgrade system. Like the previous games, God of War is a technical and graphical masterpiece. Characters, environments, and lighting exhibit impressive attention to detail, bringing this mythical world to life. Details such as tiny sparks in the air, the pollen from glowing mushrooms, and muscles being torn apart are something that doesn't go unnoticed here, and it adds to the entire experience. Much to the journey takes place in Midgard, with Kratos and Atreus traveling from various locations using a canoe. Unlike the previous games, optional objectives are littered throughout the environment that yield treasures, bonus experience, and optional bosses. God of War also features a type of Metroidvania exploration system, where previous areas have locks that can only be unlocked using specific items that are acquired at a later date. Combat, exploration, and story are completely combined for one seamless experience. Thanks to the single shot system that tells the entire tale, there is no loading screens or transition unless you die. For this technically amazing, it's unbelievable to see everything connect in such a seamless way. Other than the lock-on system, the only real letdown to God of War is the teasing. Throughout the adventure, you're constantly bombarded with interesting information about this lush world and the gods in it, but you rarely see any of them. It's especially vexing knowing that some of them have important roles in the story, but you never see them, only for them to act in the background. God of War takes the edifice of the previous games and starts anew. It's still God of War, but with a new coat of paint, giving veterans and newcomers an adventure that successfully delivers in every category. Exploration is rewarding, enemies are challenging, and the characters are compelling. God of War acknowledges the past, but refines it for something truly amazing. And if you don't own a PlayStation 4, or you don't own a PlayStation 4 Pro, this is the time to get it.
Wait, there's a shipwreck way over there. See that? And there's a statue of Thor. Except I can see a lot more of him now.
The water dropped, and the serpent rose.
Oh, that must be why the beach wasn't there before, see? And there's the mountain. Look it, that building leads from the foot of the mountain to that golden temple.
It was all just under the surface.
Except for the statue. Good thing, huh? There's even a dock. There, next to the flag. We're going to the dock first, right?